Hey there, I hope you're doing awesome today. We all know that we live in an app-rich world today, right? We've got all of these apps on our phones, and some of us may have minimal apps, and some of us may have way too many apps. But in this video, I'm going to talk about 7 very helpful apps that can track many things in our lives. It can track different habits, it can track different things with regards to what we eat, how we sleep, and things like that. So stay tuned. 7 awesome apps here to track habits and different things that we do in our life are coming your way next. My name is Stephen Kotobash, and I'm a realtor located here in the northern Atlanta area. And every once in a while, I like to have a little fun on this channel. Most of the content here is geared toward real estate, finance, and things like that. But every once in a while, I like to veer off the tracks a little bit and jump into something a little more fun, we'll say, and a little more helpful in anyone's day-to-day life. So in this video, let's talk about some apps. First one I want to jump into is called Last.fm. We all like to jam out to some tunes, right? We all listen to music on our phones, or most of us do. And I'm sure that your streaming service or platform that you use is really good at tracking what you listen to, and then it makes recommendations for you, right, based on what you've listened to in the past. Well, Last.fm is super cool because it tracks what you're listening to across multiple services and platforms. That's a little big brotherish, right? I get it, but it does a great job of looking at the whole picture of what you listen to, or of what you're listening to, and then make a recommendation or recommendations for you moving forward for the next songs you might want to hear on your phone. For you serious movie buffs out there, there's a great app called Letterboxed, and it's Letterboxd. So in this app, this one does a great job of taking a look at the movies you've seen in the past, and maybe movies that you want to see in the future. You can keep track of those in there. But what's even cooler is that you can recommend movies to friends. So it's a very tidy and simple app, and it's very intuitive and user-friendly. So for those of you that love to watch movies and keep track of what you've watched, Letterboxd is a great one to take a look at. Before we go any further, please do me a huge favor and smash that like button, smash that subscribe button. It really helps to support my channel. Thanks so much. Have you ever heard of the app called Streaks? This one is really awesome because it lets you kind of play a little mental game with yourself. So in this app, you're able to track different habits, and you can keep track of how many days you have done or have not done a certain action. So for example, let's say you want to make sure that you walk your dog every day for 30 minutes. So you can keep track of each day whether you do or don't walk your dog. And let's say, for example, maybe you want to go to the gym every day or do some sort of exercise. So if you go to the gym or exercise, then you log it into your app and you create a streak. And so it's kind of, it's almost like a mind game for yourself, and you don't want to let yourself down and break your streak. So there are different types of habits and things like that within the app that you can assign to yourself and follow for yourself, just to see how long you can keep your streak alive. So this is a really good one because there's some really good healthy things in there that we can incorporate into our lifestyle, that we can see if we can keep a nice long streak of those healthy habits. Are there any big readers out there in the audience? Goodreads is a great app that you can use to log those books that you've read. You might be one of those people that just flies through books. And admittedly, I'm not a huge reader. I wish I did read more. But some people fly through books. And for those of you where you might fall into that category, you can use Goodreads and log those books, and you can keep track of what you've read. And then that way, if you've got a friend later that says, hey, give me a couple of good books that you've read lately, and maybe you remember you read some awesome book 9 months ago, but you forgot the title, you can go back through the app and you can easily locate that book. Another thing that it lets you do is you can leave a little review for a book. You can kind of rate it, and then you can share that with friends, and you can see what other friends are reading as well to give you some ideas of that next book that you might be able to pick up. So I just admitted to you that I don't read as much as I should, but I will tell you one thing that I do well is I drink a lot of water. And I haven't, when I was younger, I didn't really drink as much water as I should. But I will say over the last, let's call it 15 or so years, I've gotten into a pretty good habit of drinking water. So there's a cool app out there called Waterminder. And through this app, it helps you track how much water you're drinking each day. And it gives you a recommendation based on your body weight and even what the weather is like that day, because that kind of fluctuates, if it's really hot or really cold. So this app does a good job of giving you a little nudge if you need it, if you're not drinking enough water. But it tracks your history, of course, and you can go back through and you can look back and see, 6 months ago, how was I drinking, how much water was I drinking compared to today. But it's a great app to help you stay healthy if you struggle with drinking, too much soda or too much juice or other sugary drinks. Have you heard of the app Exist? Now this one is really big brotherish, but come on now, let's be honest. We all know by now that through these smartphones and apps, there are plenty of things out there that are tracking what we do all day long, whether we like it or not. And I know they're even listening to us, right? You like how I held up my make-believe phone there. But anyways, Exist, it really looks at everything you're doing. So it looks at weather app usage, if you're using apps for exercise, what you're doing on Twitter, your email. I mean, it's really looking at everything you're doing on the phone, and it's tracking it and putting it all together in one comprehensive app. And this one's a little more complex in that for those of you out there that love data, it gives you charts and graphs, and it kind of bundles it all together in one nice picture. But it really does give you an idea of what you're doing and how you're spending your time every day. For those of you that like to travel, go to your Google Apps. For those of you that like to travel, go to your Google Maps app, and there's a section in there called Your Timeline, and you can log in the places that you've been in the past, and it also gives you a chance to rate those. And so what it does, it takes a look at, not only does it keep a log of where you've been, so you can go back and look through that later on, but then also it gives you recommendations for places to see in the future based on how you reviewed those places that you visited in the past. After you're done watching this video, do me a favor and check out this video on my YouTube channel where I go through the streets of Alpharetta, Georgia and Milton, Georgia, and I give you a feel for what those areas look like. It's here in the northern suburbs of Atlanta, so in case you're thinking about moving here, that would be an awesome video for you to check out. So I hope you've enjoyed what we've done today. Like I said, we've kind of veered off our normal path of talking about real estate, but I hope these apps that we talked about today can really help you in your life, to help you track some daily habits, and maybe it'll help to incorporate some good habits into your life. Because if you're like me, I know there's different things that I can work on, and I'm sure the same holds true for you. So thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you on the next video.